All right, we're gonna go ahead and do the caster camber plate on this side. We've already done it on that side. Now these things can get confusing. And if I'm being honest with you, sometimes I get them mixed up. So there's a good chance in this video that we get something turned around or backwards or whatever, but it's a pretty easy fix. Once you get these things on, you can flip them and change them. It's not that big of a deal. But we're gonna go ahead and get started on these. So we have the car on 2 jack stands. Andrew's gonna go ahead and take this wheel off. As soon as you do that, all you're gonna wanna do is put your jack under your A-arm, take off your strut, and your caster camber plates right here, your factory ones. That's all we're gonna do. So I'll stick with you guys through this and show you what we gotta do here. We also have to put back the isolator on the springs to try to pick the front of the car up a little bit. So it's gonna be a little different. Andrew, we've had a few people say that they wish that they had an Andrew to help them. So how much do you charge? What's your going rate? So a gallon of sweet tea, some Star Crunch.
Dinner. Definitely dinner.
So you gotta feed him, guys, and I'm telling you, he ain't cheap.
Sandwiches don't count.
Yeah, ham and cheese.
Peanut butter jelly might though.
Yeah, peanut butter jelly. You gotta have him some Captain Crunch or some Fruity Pebbles, and I promise you he'll work for you. All right. So, like I said, here all you want to do is get the jack under the A-arm just so that this thing doesn't pop out on you. It's gonna have a lot of pressure on it, but all you want to do is just get it under there, get it where it touches the A-arm, and then stop. Because any of you that watched the last video knows that sometimes you have to have pressure on your strut to get this top nut off. So that's what we're going to do now. Very close. All right. So probably what happened was this A-arm dropped down some. Just try to tighten it back. All right. There we go. Pretty simple. So that's all you got to do here, and then just start taking stuff off. Also, obviously, we got to get the stock caster camber plates off here. Damn, that's loud. And that's it. Now, I want to go ahead and tell you guys from here, man, you got it made. From here, you can put caster camber plates on just like this. So let's go ahead, and this is going to skip around a little bit, guys, this video. But what we're going to do is go ahead and pull this down. So this is pretty simple here. Okay, so up in here, you have, I have my fender liner out, so I'm going to have a little more room. But all you guys got to do here is pull your strut down and then pull this plate off, toss it, and then the same thing with this. Swing it out, and you're gonna take this off. None of this stuff stays. All trash. Well, don't throw it away. We've already talked about that. So from here, what we're gonna do is go ahead and pop this spring out and put our isolator in. I'm not gonna show you guys that. We've already done that essentially. But we'll pick back up whenever we start putting our spacers on. So we'll get back to you guys after we get this done. This just goes like that. Look at your instructions to see which way it's supposed to face. And you'll have 2 bolts that go in either side here. So you'll have 2 here and 2 here. You'll leave the center out. As far as this goes, once you push it up, you'll drop these on the top side. All right, let me take you over here and show you. Okay, so we're going to take this and slide it from underneath the car. Like that. You're going to drop your spacers on. Okay, so then you're going to get your plate and just drop it on. Also, these are the spacers that we're using on the strut, so you're going to have to drop these spacers in on top of the strut. You can adjust the thickness of these so you can put more or less. The more that you put down on your strut, the more tension the car will have. So really and truly, it raises your car ever so slightly versus if you put them up top up here. So you have that choice, but I think SVE recommends to start with this. So anyway, that's what we're going to do now. All you do is drop them on your strut. So that's it. Push everything down. Swing it in. Now you're gonna have to reach under here. It really helps to have 2 people. Andrew's filming for me right now, so he can't help me, but
I used to do it all by myself anyway.
yeah, Andrew will lie to you though, guys. So all you gotta do though is get everything started. And once you do that, that's essentially it, guys. Andrew is leaving. Sorry, the SD card actually got full. Andrew was videoing and didn't notice it, but as you can see, the isolator helped a lot. So we are pretty much perfectly level right now. That's exactly what I wanted right there. So we just kind of set the caster camber plate so that they wouldn't be so far off, but obviously the toe is off, the caster camber is still off, and we have got to replace all of the front end. So in and outer tie rods and also ball joints have to be replaced. I mean, you can grab the wheel and just move it like this. It's bad. So all that stuff's gonna have to be replaced. As you know, we do have all those parts, so that's a good thing. So possibly tomorrow or the next day, I'll get started on some of that. I've got to get this garage cleaned back up and all that stuff. You know how it goes, right? You get out here and you're grinding and you're getting after it and you just make a mess. So I can't work like this. So tomorrow I'm gonna take a little time, clean up, and then we'll get started back on it here in the next day or so. It's looking good though, right? All right, guys, we'll catch you then. Remember, I said we had some new 19-pound injectors. So as you can see, I've already started on this. I checked everything over when I pulled the injectors out. Everything seemed to be clean. You know, the injectors didn't really have a lot of trash like in the top of them. I thought the screens might be stopped up, but I checked the tops of the injectors really thinking that I was going to see something. Yeah, pretty clean. There was a little bit of trash that come out, but you know, pretty clean. So we're not going to worry about that. Like I told you, we're just poking and hoping, guys. We're going to throw in a new set of injectors because honestly, it really just needs it. Now, I know a lot of you are asking, you know, well, what about trash in the tank? If there's trash in these injectors, can't they get in this? Well, to be honest with you, we've replaced the tank, we've cleaned the tank out. It has a new fuel pump, a new sock, and a new filter, inline filter. So really and truly, there shouldn't be anything left. So we go ahead and pop these in. There's really not much to talk about on this. You just take your upper intake off, pull your injectors out, slap your new injectors in, plug everything up. So tell you what, I'll do a little time lapse for you, then we'll take the car down the road afterwards, see if it helps. We got the intake on, we got the injectors in, and I think everything is plugged up correctly. So let's go ahead, bust this thing off. Already tell you that the car runs a little cleaner, no doubt. Which, I mean, you got to think these injectors are 30 years old now, so you know, I'm sure they needed to be changed out. Will that fix all of my problems? I don't know, but this is the thing, we can rule out the injectors now. And if you guys don't know, essentially the car, it idles funny every once in a while. It'll kind of pop. You can drive it and the car runs great 1 second and then the next minute it doesn't. So, you know, it could be a ground issue, it could be a bunch of different things. And see, we're back skipping again, so. Definitely something going on. All right, guys, I'm gonna work with it for a second and get everything tidied back up, and I'll take it down the road and see if it helps. So I'm back. Well, it's a little later on tonight, but we took the car down the road today after I put the new injectors in. Everything did pretty good. Kinda, sorta. So let me give you a quick rundown, just real fast, of what happened. I picked Andrew up and he had to go into the store, so the car sat outside and idled for about 5 minutes or so. And everything did good. The car's running great. He gets back in the car, we go down the road about 2 miles. I go to pull over, my normal little spot where I take pictures of the car at. Pull over and I get out and this thing is boiling over. I mean, it's got water just coming out of it. The valves weren't rattling. It didn't act like it was running hot or anything. So we said, oh shit. So we jump in the car, get it home, and the car ran great. Like, it never ran bad. So we got the car home and, you know, put some water in it, and shortly after, the car starts to have a skip to it, a miss. So like, oh crap, you know, probably a head gasket or something. Oh well, it is what it is. We'll fix it. Well, I got to looking around the car, and actually what it was spark plug wire boot had come off of it. So put the spark plug wire boot on, and seemed to do a lot better. But I drove it down the road, and it would like poot and pop. That's what I call it. I know you guys are like, what is that? You know when a car pops back through the intake and misfires, I call it a poot and a pop. So anyway, car was doing that, and I got back home, looked over everything, and found that the distributor was loose. So the hold down on the distributor wasn't very tight. We're going to go ahead and get this thing pulled in, and we're going to get some of these front end components installed. Well, I'm at least going to get the car in tonight and get it up on jack stands. We may do it tomorrow, but let me show you what we got. We have our outer tie rods right here, and we have our inner tie rods right here. Now, I did not rent the tool this time, so we're going to try to use a crescent wrench and see if we can do this. I've never done it with a crescent wrench, but honestly, I think it, you know, is doable, so we will see. So I'm going to go ahead and get the car in here, and then we'll get started.